Hello and welcome to another very special episode of Coy Cubed. Welcome to August. I hope you're doing very, very well. It is a little hot today, so once again we'll be keeping this a little on the shorter side so my computer and phone don't overheat as they have been tending to do this summer. It is very toasty in Los Angeles, but I did not want to miss you lovelies on this lovely, lovely Tuesday. I do have a little bit of a bump on my head. There was a Showdown event and there was a fence that was stuck and I was helping pull the fence open for some people and then it opened too well. So your eyes do not deceive you. I've got a decent lump on my head. I do apologize for any, I don't know why I'm apologizing for my own lump, but here we are. Today we're going to talk about Venom 2 trailer, which I am very, very excited about. We're going to be talking about lots and lots of mysterious Spider-Man-ness. We're going to be talking about some free guy first reactions, not to, say necessarily that I've seen it, but if I were to have seen it, I would give some sort of reaction to it later. So I will conceptually, since social media embargo's up, give perhaps tweet-length responses to theoretically my having seen it because the embargo is officially not up for another couple days. Theoretically is the way we'll address that because it's a very tricky thing when social and embargo are so far apart. Irregardless, we'll also be talking about the Showdown collision, which just happened this past week. It aired this week. It is free thanks to Captain Morgan, and some other stuff coming at you, and my favorite comic books from last week dropped on the 28th. It was one of the biggest weeks in comics of the year, and it was a spectacular week in comic books. So let's kick it off with Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Carnage is a movie I am very, very excited about. It is a movie I was very concerned about after the critical versus fan reception to the first one. As a fan who doesn't consider himself a critic, I consider myself a hype man. I loved it so much that people wrote about my experience in some of their reviews. I read reviews where they talked about someone standing and cheering. I was he. I love the first Venom film, so I had hoped they'd lean into the insanity, the campiness, the weird tone of the first film. The first trailer gave us a taste of that. This second one seems to even further know exactly what the market of this film is. I just saw that John Getz is in here but has to go. John! You're a gentleman and a scholar. I appreciate you. And yes, I do need an AC wall. Well, see, I have a standing AC, but it's so loud that when I do the show, I have to turn it off. So I do have an AC. I know you guys can't hear me with it on. So thus, I have to choose heat over a lack of show. And I will happily melt a little for you lovelies. John, always a pleasure. Back to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Carnage is a bigger, better, hopefully, sequel, because I do feel like in the first film they were juggling a lot of different tones. I definitely gave the first one like an AA- because I really, really enjoy the dynamic of what the difference between Marvel and DC is that Marvel's got this one shared universe and DC is now playing around with many different universes. The thing I like about Sony having Spider-Man is that they can really make a broader, weird Spider-Man thing. Now, I'm not necessarily in love with the MCU Spider-Man being so Iron Man heavy, but I can separate comic book Spider-Man from movie Spider-Man and still enjoy both separately. But with Venom, I get the weird, campy, strange, scattered, insane comedy that was the McFarlane-Michelini comics. So I personally really enjoy the Venom movie's tone, and I do feel like there was a lot of conversation in the first film, like where they tried to subdue it, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. I think the sequel has the chance to be the lobster scene over and over. I think everyone talked about the things they liked about the first film. They liked the toxic, weird relationship between Venom and Eddie. They liked some of the weirder humor. They liked some of that chaos. And then some of the problems they can eradicate. I think Venom 2 is going to be exceptional. I'm very excited for it. The trailer looks great. Carnage looks better than I expected. I do think it's going to be a situation where Andy Serkis's experience now with directing lots of mocap, both in basically being the frontiersman for acting in mocap, one of the first people to really pave the way for a lot of that. But also now, after directing Jungle Book and now going into this, he's very experienced with how to frame for action that happens in post. He's very familiar with that. So his mindset, I do think, is going to shape how great this sequel is. Woody Harrelson minus the wig from the first one as Carnage looks excellent. Again, the look is better than I expected. Carnage as a kid was my favorite villain. I'm definitely, as I get older, you know, a lot of it's like, oh, he's red and black, it's cool. But he's still a really interesting villain. The chaos of it all, the spontaneity of it all, the vindictiveness of the freedom of Carnage is a very interesting character. I do think Woody Harrelson can play off. With the casting of Woody Harrelson, I'm expecting this to be very natural-born killers. With the character being in the comic books, Maximum Carnage is him and Shriek, and there was a few shots of Shriek in this trailer. I'm very curious if it becomes a natural-born killers kind of story with Carnage and Shriek, and then obviously Venom trying to curb that. So the comic books origin is Eddie's going to visit and leaves like a scrap of his suit. His suit kind of leaves a patch of itself in the prison. In this, it looks like Carnage more directly bites Venom, drawing blood, causing a more evil, a more red, more violent symbiote. Because in the trailer, Venom even says, "Ooh, it's a red one." So I'm wondering if there's different tiers of symbiotes, if there's a certain level of evil, if there's a certain instinct, depending on the color, if when it bonds to another entity, if that changes its hue. Maybe the black ones tend to be more sympathetic to the race they're bonding with. Maybe red tends to be more antagonistic. Maybe yellow tends to be more chaotic, because in the comic books, the yellow one is a very intense symbiote. I'm just curious if the color really affects all of those things. So I really enjoyed this trailer. I love the tone. I love the chaos of it. I do think Carnage looks better than I was expecting. I like how lean he is, because in the comic books, that's one of the really good distinguishing factors. He weaponizes everything. There's a lot more going on with all of his tendrils. I was worried in the first Venom film when Venom had so much externalized tendrils, when the symbiote was so much that it would diminish Carnage's excitement, but it does look like they're able to make Carnage his own thing in this one. So top to bottom, very excited about this trailer. Hopefully you guys have seen it. I've seen a number of questions pop up. I'm going to try to catch these. Remember, Streamlabs and Super Chats, I guarantee I check those, and I'm going to try to catch as many of the live chats as I can. In fact, there was a Streamlab that I did miss last time because basically it came in right as we ended and it didn't load fast enough. So I'm going to do that one first and then get to your questions right here. I did see some Venom Carnage questions pop in there. I'll be answering those in just a moment. But I do want to say, Mr. Joe Ryan asked me if Fox movies, the X-Men movies, including Deadpool, if I could rank them. Now, that is a very, very difficult situation off the top of my head. I saw this last week and didn't get a chance to answer it, but I would say Deadpool 1, X2, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men First Class. Those two might switch. Actually, yeah, I'd say Deadpool. Oh, no, Logan. Okay. Deadpool 1, Logan, I know, but he's my guy, and I really think they nailed the character, and I love Logan a lot, but Deadpool changed a lot of things. Those two are like tied for first. X2, First Class, Days of Future Past, X-Men. Ooh, now it gets tricky. The Wolverine, X-Men 3, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that's everything. I forgot Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is after X2. It's in that middle range. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. It's very hard to rank films off the top of my head. I didn't prep that. I just read it after forgetting it last week, missing it last week. All right, let me see on your fan questions here. Man, it's really hard to pick between Deadpool 1 and Logan, though. I feel like either way I lose. One of those two. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, global warming does suck. Faux show. Gotta get that window AC lifesaver for my PS5 this summer. Yeah, oh, that's why. Okay, I saw you, and then so you and Michael McCarcel are two of the only moderators. So when I see that little, I think you guys are the same, because I only see those things pop up on my phone. I only see the moderators, so I thought John Getz had to leave. Michael McCarcel had to leave. Michael McCarcel you too are a gentleman and a scholar, and I'll see you on the replay. I appreciate you both. Let's see. Voldemort did try to kill me for a sec. This is, in fact, the boy who lives mark right there. Does Carnage have the same origin in the movies as he does in the comics? I do think they're changing it. I talked about it briefly. It looks like this is a more antagonistic, more violent origin because he attacks Eddie versus Venom leaving a piece of himself. It looks like Cletus does, in fact, attack Eddie. I appreciate the new haircut, love. It actually usually looks better, but I'm having a very tired day, so there's a bit of chaos going, but I appreciate it. Let's see. Blue Beetle casting confirmed. We're going to be talking about the Blue Beetle casting in like 2 more stories. Did anyone catch the short feature with Andy Serkis on Apple TV? I have not yet, but I do have Apple TV this month because Ted Lasso, so I will look into that right now. I like the first movie way more than I thought I would. The critics were too harsh, in my opinion. I agree, Lavelle. I agree. What are your thoughts on the Miss Marvel show changing her origin and powers in the show? I don't like it because what even is the point of adapting the comics? Because Marvel Studios won't respect it. I think we don't know that. I think that people are way reading into an image that they don't know anything about. And I think after 13 years of Marvel not steering us wrong, 85 to 90% of the time, people should hold off until they actually see the property. In fact, it's been very exhausting. People jump to conclusions. It's very frustrating being a geek in the internet space when people are so quick to be so ignorant. I'm going to see what happens when it comes out. Let's see. And remember the backs from Carnage SNES game? I do. I played it on Sega Genesis. Same game, though. Do I think we'll see Venom in Spider-Man 3? I do not. Origins dead last. I agree. Could you imagine Deadpool and Venom interacting with each other in a future movie? It would be bananas. It certainly would. It certainly would. I do think their comedy is very fun in that chaos way. So one can hope. What If hype. I want to talk about all the buzz around What If. We got some more news about What If. We got some of the storylines revealed. Some people have seen the first 3 episodes. I've opted not to. I want to give my fresh opinion every week like I did with Loki and what I did with WandaVision and Captain Winter Soldier. I like the week-to-week, weekly water cooler conversations with you guys, so I have not watched the first 3. Starting on August 11th, I will be giving my opinion at 10 a.m. right after watching it. I wake up, watch it again with notes. It is going to be roughly 30 minutes an episode. There will be 9 episodes, not 10. This is due to COVID. One of the episodes from season 1 did get pushed to season 2. There is a season 2 already happening, and there are going to be 9 episodes per season. So there's 18 what-ifs at minimum coming at us. We have found out that Chadwick Boseman did voice 4 episodes, which is our last Chadwick Boseman performance. I'm very excited to see it. It's going to be very heartbreaking to hear Chadwick for the last time, but getting him in 4 of the 9 episodes is quite the gift, especially after we lost him. I'm very curious about him as Star-Lord. I'm very curious about all these storylines. We're finding out, like, there's a Spider-Man zombie hunter. There's obviously Peggy Carter, Captain America, lots of this good stuff. I've been trying not to pry too deeply into the storylines because I think the surprise week to week is going to be part of the charm. Again, why I didn't watch the first 3 is each of these is a separate what if. Each of these is a separate world. So it's going to be fun week to week, not knowing what the next week is. So I'm going to avoid teasers. I'm going to try to avoid titles. I'm going to try to avoid storyline stuff. So don't expect any of that on this channel. Week to week, I'm hoping to find out with you guys what everything is. And remember, Wednesday on my Instagram at COYJANDREAU, you can hear my thoughts immediately after watching it. Comic references, Easter eggs, world building, MCU growth, all that stuff on Instagram 10 a.m. and then uploaded later to the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, which is another YouTube page I run that is my edited stuff. So this is all my live stuff, off the cuff, no edits. That's going to have graphics, edits, and all that jazz. So check out the Late Con if you like a more polished, edited, sprucey show. So, all right, that is going to be it for What If. I'm very excited. The only thing that is a bummer is Dave Bautista was not even asked to come back as Drax, which is just silly. I know there's some tension between Dave Bautista and Disney after the James Gunn firing. I'm a big Dave Bautista fan. I think it's really messy, and it's kind of unfortunate. I will not personally speak to the ongoing lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson and Disney because I will just say blanketly that the way they reacted was inappropriate. I love Disney, and I don't think the way they've been handling this situation is fair, but it's really messy, and you guys know I'm team theatrical, and you guys know I'm team artists getting paid fairly, so it's a real mess, but I don't want to get into details because it's not my place, except for to say that holy shit, what a mess. All right, back to happier things. I do want to say that Zolo Maranduena. I'm not sure how to say that name. I do apologize to everyone whose name I just butchered. Xolo Maridueña, who is the lead of Cobra Kai, is going to play, it looks like, all but DC confirmation, it looks like going to be Blue Beetle. Now, Blue Beetle is a very fun character from DC comic books. This is yet another HBO Max exclusive movie. They're trying to grow their HBO Max network basically with these DC properties, which is a very smart way to get subscribers. It's basically what CW's become. The Berlanti-verse over at CW, now translated to a more adult-themed HBO Max, is very exciting. We're getting Batgirl over there. Now we're getting Blue Beetle over there. It's going to grow and grow and grow. We're getting a Gotham show. I'm very excited as a comic book fan, but we will see how all of that goes. But now we have a Blue Beetle, and I'm very excited about that. Next up, we need a Booster Gold, and I'll be a real happy boy. I'm a big fan of those two characters, and I love Cobra Kai, so I think the casting is delightful. Very excited. All right, speaking of the Batman over on HBO Max, we have our first quote from Jeffrey Wright, who will be reprising his role as not yet Commissioner Gordon on that Gotham show. It's going to be following him, but the thing that sets all that up is the movie The Batman. It has been delayed a number of times. It is theoretically coming out in March of 2022, but for now, we've got a quote, and I told you guys, any credible Batman news, I'm going to be dropping. That is my most anticipated movie of the next 2 years. Any medium, any genre, The Batman, I am so excited for. Even if Fincher announced a movie tomorrow, The Batman might take precedent because I am thrilled we're getting a detective Batman, and this quote makes me even more excited. Jeffrey Wright, not yet Commissioner Gordon, says, quote, "It was gothic. It was sleuthful," if that's a word. Isn't, but I'll accept it. "It was mysterious and it was tricky. It was tricky because of the conditions that we were working in. It was isolating for those of us who are away from home, out of the country, over London. I experienced more quarantine than I would wish on anyone, going back and forth over those last 6 months. So it was a pretty dogged one if I try to pull it off, but we were working in the teeth of the outbreak, and we were trying to protect ourselves, one another, and the production, so it took a lot." Okay. Two separate thoughts here. One, sleuthful. Not quite a word, but we know what he meant, and I'm very excited about being sleuthful. Give me that. I use words incorrectly all the time on purpose for impact. Sleuthful is one of those experiences. I want a detective Batman so bad. I want a gothic Batman so bad. Hoping we get that neo-modern architecture like from the animated series meets detective stuff. That's exactly what I want out of this movie. That's exactly what that first trailer is. I've not been this excited for a comic book movie to start something since, I don't know, the Avengers in 2012. Like, this is, I'm levels of hype here I haven't been in a long time. Very excited for this. Very in, and everything I hear about it gets me more and more amped up. Adding to that, yeah, they filmed during peak COVID. Their lead got COVID. They had to stop for 2 weeks while Robert Pattinson recovered, got uncontagious, whatever that word is, speaking of misusing the language. What they had to deal with was insane. So just in general, everyone that's just pouring through art while we're at home, everyone that's just binging TV and plowing through movies, everything that's going to start coming out from this point on, think about how hard it is to make a movie in the first place, how hard it is to make TV in the first place, then how hard it is to make anything of quality, and then add to that the difficulties of filming during COVID. All of these people deserve all of the respect, lots and lots of money, and lots of our appreciation. We do not take care of our artists. We do not take care of people that give us the entertainment that we so desire while we're trapped at home. So much love to the Batman cast. Thank you for giving us already one of the best trailers for a movie I've ever seen. Cannot wait for this movie, and Jeffrey Wright, I appreciate you. We will see how that shakes out. Hopefully, if it comes out March of 2022, which brings me to my next story. Will this fall be the movie delay season again? I started Coy-Cast, which is the podcast leg of my network, and basically 2 weeks into me doing a new podcast, which you can get Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you cast your pods. Within 2 weeks of doing that show, it was basically this is delayed, this has been moved, all of those things, and it was very hard to start a show with just negativity. I try to lean into positivity. I don't review things I haven't enjoyed. I haven't seen either, but also haven't enjoyed. It's just not who I am. We'll talk about Free Guy in just a second. But I do fear this fall is going to be more of that. They just canceled the release of Clifford the Big Red Dog in theaters. No release date adjustments. I'm hearing things about certain other properties moving. I think Venom might move. I worry the Eternals is going to move again. I do think we get Free Guy. The premiere was today. But I do wonder if things after mid-August don't shift. I'm very afraid of movies getting held, pushed, or just pulled off the release calendar again. This Delta thing's no joke. I don't want this to become the COVID show, but it is about to be an option for things to not really move again, and theaters already had enough time with Lockdown 1. It's going to be very tricky going into Lockdown 2. Hopefully, the way money's been moving around with AMC, they can keep afloat, but I'm worried about indie theaters. I'm worried about these movies. I'm worried about the exhibition leg of entertainment in general. I do think we're about to see release dates mega shift again. I wouldn't be surprised if The Eternals doesn't come out when it does. I'm a little worried about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's premiere soon, and we'll see. So I'm worried about all that. Just please, I once again, I'm not going to let this become the COVID show, but if you're not vaccinated, consider it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's not my place, but I had no negative reactions. I got a little bit, I was tired for a day and a half, and now I can go out and not worry about killing people. But with this new variant, that is not going to be the case for long because it mutates within us and becomes more problematic. So that's the end of that rant. Please consider it. I would like to have a world to live in, and that would be a way to get there faster. So thank you for your dealing with me talking about something I hate talking about because people are exhausting. All right, let's talk about something I do want to talk about. Let's talk about some Free Guy first reactions. Now, the review embargo is, I think, next week. I don't have the date in front of me. I think it's next week. It's soon, the review embargo, but the social embargo is already up. Now, this is technically not social. This is a longer format show, so I can't give my thoughts necessarily, but what I can do is read you guys some other people's reviews, including Perry Nemiroff, who says, the great Perry Nemiroff, Free Guy isn't just a fun movie, it's really good, wildly creative, suspenseful, and surprisingly warm and emotional. Reynolds is hugely charming as the title character, and that setting just gets better and better as the movie goes on. This is how you make the most of a high concept. I'm not saying I saw it with Perry Nemiroff. I'm not saying I've seen it, but I'm also not saying that and saying that everything she just said I completely agree with. This guy on the internet, Coy-Jandreau, said, Free Guy is very much my cup of tea, juggling a myriad of surprisingly dense philosophical and existential concepts while never letting its foot off the gas on its in-canon encouraged boundless action, plus earnestly endearing Ryan Reynolds comedy and Sean Levy Hart. I'm just saying, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. He seems to have really loved it. Perhaps if there were more characters in that tweet, he would go on to say that he didn't know Jodie Comer before this film, was swept away by her performance, that Taika Waititi is always a powerhouse, whether he's behind or in front of the camera, and that the kid from Stranger Things, whose name escapes him because he didn't write it down because he's not supposed to talk about this movie yet, is awesome in it, and this entire cast blew him away, while also impressing him with the broader, headier concepts he wasn't given too much of in the trailer, and the third act, which wasn't revealed in a major way in the trailers to date, making it one of his favorite, if not favorite, movies of the year. He might go on to say. Now, when he can say more, he certainly will, but he will suggest you see it in theaters if it's safe, if you're vaccinated, if you wear a mask, etc., because it is quite the spectacle film. It does action so well, and the action starts crazy and keeps going crazy. It also does comedy. It's Ryan Reynolds. He can't say more, but he will say, go see it, please. He wants more of these movies, conceptually. Okay, let me read the chat real quick with it. All right. Let's see. Where's Mama Jandreau? That is the question, probably at work. She makes more of these than one would expect. She's the best mom in the game. Update on your tooth. Efren Guzman, I have a temporary crown. I get my final crown on the 16th of the month. I've had 2 root canals and the rebuilding process. I've had 3 of my 5 trips to the dentist. It hurt. I'm on a decent amount of ibuprofen while it gets better. I probably could be weaning off the ibuprofen tomorrow. Down from 3 times a day to 1 a day. So tomorrow's my last day probably taking pain meds. Thanks to my amazing koi pond, about a third of it was covered from you guys. You guys donated a little over $1,000 out of my $3,500 bill. I did not have $3,500 waiting for me in some secret Swiss account. I work on the internet, which is not the most high-paying place. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for you guys making at least the financial pain lesser while the mouth pain was higher. But it is getting better. I will be having basically the final crown assuredly put in on the 16th and then the week after a checkup. So they're going to color match my teeth. It's going to get put in there, sealed, make sure there's no leaks or anything else, and the pain is substantially better. So thank you for caring, and thank you to everyone that helped it be less financially painful again. And I'm very excited to have all my teeth. You can't see that it's a temporary crown. They did a great job. It's one of the best dentists I've ever been to in my life. So for those of you that care about my teeth stuff, going as well as possible, and thank you. All right. So long away. I'm loving the Babu Freak t-shirt. It's just so coy. My little brother got me this. My little brother is the shit. Coy-Jandreau. He's a fantastic sewist and costume designer, and he has good taste in shirts. The Green Knight's UK release date was delayed. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it begins. MK Songbird, that is my fear as well. Lavelle, get vaccinated, people. We can't see movies because you're not vaccinated. Rant over. I didn't say it. He did. I'm not disagreeing with it. Perry is awesome. Travis Earl. Jason Ritchie, I don't get it. I've been fully vaccinated since March and still wear a mask whenever I go out. It's not that hard. Again, Jason Ritchie said it. I might also do the same. Let's see. Travis is agreeing with him. And, oh, I keep mine in a non-secret account. What a flex. I know. Such secrets. That's how I do. I just got that 3.5K flex. Okay, let's get back to a little bit more news before we wrap this bad Larry out. I will say, now that the embargo is up, that the Suicide Squad, which drops on Friday of this week, is, I think, tied for first, now that it's marinated, of my favorite DCEU films, and it's in my top 7 DC films. That is high praise, because that includes The Dark Knight, that includes Batman Begins, that includes The Donner Superman. It is very, very high up there. I will be going through and listing my favorite DCEU once people have seen it with my spoiler review. But I would say to see it as soon as possible. I feel like it's a movie that's easily spoiled because part of the thrill for me was not knowing what members of the Suicide Squad made it. I will say, not to get too attached, which is part of the marketing, I will say they did a great job editing those trailers, so I didn't know what was going on. I will say I wish I'd seen less trailers, so if you haven't seen recent trailers or TV spots, I'd avoid them. Just the first act, I felt like I'd seen too much of because of marketing, and the movie's had to market for 2 years. I don't blame the marketing on this one. I don't blame anyone. They just had to keep people in the hype, and I get why they revealed what they did. I just wish I hadn't seen as much because I followed it so closely. It's truly incredible. It's an A-. I'm just encouraging you to see it quickly because of that. I love seeing the premiere last night and like the hype around everybody. Now I feel like everyone's going to start revealing stuff, and it's going to be a bummer to things get leaked. For example, there's a character in Free Guy, which I recommend you see, that was revealed the night I saw perhaps it. And I was like, I'm so glad I saw that in the context of the movie, not in the trailer or in the spot they released. So I would avoid things if possible and see it soon if possible. It's very, very, very freaking good. I'm very, very happy it exists. And the more I think on it, the better it gets for me. The more excited I am that it exists. So I'm all about it. So that is my just go see the Suicide Squad rant. Also, The Boys Season 4 looks like it is happening. I've been hearing more and more that Season 4 was quietly greenlit. They are going to be filming that next year, I hear. And they're probably going to announce it the day they start playing Season 3. So if you're a Boys fan, looks like we got at least 2 more seasons and the spinoff. Lots of The Boys action coming at you, which makes me real happy for my boy Derek Robertson. I just saw something pop up over here. Jason Ritchie. Gentleman, scholar, Massachusettsite, has this to say: 5150 is the code for when someone needs to be involuntarily held on psychiatric hospitalization. Very fitting, seeing as those MTS matches were insane. You're goddamn right, they were insane. We are actually at the Showdown point of the show, so that is perfect timing, Mr. Jason Ritchie. If you guys haven't watched Collision, there's about to be a spoiler in like 5 seconds. I do recommend you watch it. It is free. It is not a patron feed. It is sponsored from Captain Morgan, and it is available on YouTube right now. But 5150 happened again. Shazam took corruption all the way to sudden death, retained that belt, and got our second 5150 of the season, tying the record for highest score ever. Andrew DiGolanta set the record for highest score ever with our Star Wars belt acquisition, and now Shazam has tied the record with their first belt defense. I am so proud of my team. I am so proud of my guys. And it's our third 101-point game because Shazam already got 101 points in another match. So truly an insane feat. We are the Quirky Mercs 101. We are the 5150 team, and we do have shirts. And speaking of that, those shirts are not yet available. We've already had people bootleg those shirts and start selling fake ones. Fuck those people. Only buy official shirts because I'm not seeing this money. This isn't me trying to make money. This is literally like the quality of the shirts are going to be garbage, and it doesn't help the Schmodown if people buy bootleg shirts. We need to show Skybound and the Schmodown how much we care. That's how we keep doing the show. So again, this isn't money in my pocket, but buy it official. It's not yet released. I think it's going to come out later this week. 5150, make sure the site you buy it from says Skybound on it, because that is where it is. Plus, it is the same site that sells Saga merch, and as a Ride or Die Saga fan, it is amazing to me that my stuff is in the same store as Saga. So buy it where you buy Saga. Get some Quirky Mercs merch. 5150 t-shirt coming later this week. Very proud. Jason Ritchie, thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you for the police code note that I did not yet know. I'm so proud of my mercs. We are now in first place. We are the #1 faction in the entire sport. We have taken the lead with many championships, and I'm now really gunning for that Modi spot. I want Manager of the Year this year. I'm coming for it. It's going to be mine. I'm proud of my mercs. -2 to #1. All right. That is going to be the end of my movie trivia Schmodown rant. It's Kesha. I just talked about Suicide Squad 2 like 5 minutes ago. It was very good. It was excellent. I loved it very much. And then we also got Scott Welsh. Doesn't the winning team get a cut of the merch? So technically it could be your money. Actually, technically that's true. Full disclosure, the winning team does get a cut of the merch. I plan to be the winning team. So technically you guys buying a 5150 shirt could end up with a cut in my pocket. But since it doesn't yet, I will be free to say get it at Skybound, but I would also like a little bit of that cheddar if that works out. I like where your head's at, Scott. I appreciate you. I'm trying to win this motherfucker. I'm working on it. I'm hustling. All right, next up, we got Curls, and then Comic Rex, and then we wrap this bad Larry out. Curls-wise, it is August. I told you guys every month I'm going to do a different thing. I did Gallon a Day May. I did Just Schedule July. August, I'm doing Augmented August. So I'm augmenting my schedule with fitness no matter what every single day in August. And I'm doing more supplements. Basically just upping, I'm doing a regular amount of creatine, just like I haven't used creatine in a long time, so I'm putting creatine back in my diet. I'm doing a little bit of BCAAs for muscle soreness. And then I'm doing pre-workout again for the first time in a few months. So I'm just adding to my stack. So I'm augmenting in August while also, and I haven't done creatine in like 2 years. So it'd be cool to have that back in my system. But I'm also augmenting by making sure I clean every day, like just one thing around the house every day, and work out every day. So I'm augmenting my schedule with 2 must-dos a day, plus my usual morning routine and all that jazz. So Augmented August. If you guys are playing along at home, that is my August goal for the curl section. I'm going to be doing 10% more running every single run. So right now I'm only at 2.5 mile runs. So today I'm going to run 2.5 miles. Next time I run, I'm going to run 2.75 miles because that's 10% more. Or I need to run 10% faster. So say I run a 10-minute mile, I need to run a 9-minute mile. So I'm going to try to do 10% better and better and better all through the month. That's the same for working out. Say I bench 200, the next time I want to bench 220, that sort of thing. If I do 10 reps, I want to get 11 reps in, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to try to augment 10% better every day and read 10% of a book every day. So I get through a book every 10 days, trying to get 2, but theoretically 3 if I actually nail that, books in the month. So that is my August plan, you lovelies. All right, that is going to be it for everything but the Comic Rex. I'm going to read the questions here in a moment after I give you guys my comic book recommendations. From last week, I recommend the following books. From the 28th, my favorite books were Batman Reptilian #2, Black Cat #8, Black Widow #9, Berserker #4, Daredevil #32, Department of Truth #11, Detective Comics 1040, Fantastic Four 34, Harley Quinn #5, Scumbag #9, Something is Killing the Children 18, Static #2, that's Static Shock Season 2 #2, Something is Killing the Children 18, I already said, Strange Adventures 11, Superman Son of Kal-El #1, United States of Captain America #2, Wolverine 14, and Wonder Woman Black and Gold #2. Last week in comics there was like 40 books out. Usually I do a top 9, that's like a top 15. There were so many incredible books. Those were all A's or B pluses. Those are truly must reads, so if you can get to any of those, highly recommend them. Really great stuff coming out from every publisher in comic books right now. All right, let's check any last questions, and I'm going to wrap out of here. How much art do I have in my room? I have enough that these are actually magnets and they rotate out. So these are actually disc plates, they're magnets, and I change them, and my entire place is art because I want to live in a comic book and I love art so very, very much. I have a great patron saint of unboxing who is the patron tier where I basically unbox one of these a month, and I think he's in here actually, Curtis Mason. Curtis Mason, gentleman scholar, patron saint of unboxing. Actually, let's do an impromptu unboxing right meow. Let's see, it's Kesha. What are my opinion on remakes? Any art is worth having as long as it's good. I have no negativity towards remakes. I just think it should be made with integrity. So if you remake something that's worth doing, it's worth doing. I like updated stuff. I just don't think you should do it shot for shot. That's why that Cycle one is so bad, and it shouldn't be lesser than the original. So I like a good remake. What creatine supplements do you use? I usually use the one that's like the GNC store brand because I'm poor, so I get the cheapest one. But definitely make sure it's not like a bootleg off the streets because a lot of them have really bad heavy metals and stuff. So be careful with your creatine. Tried creatine once, kept throwing up from drinking too much water with it. Apparently you're supposed to drink a ton to keep everything healthy while taking it. Had to stop. Dude, that's intense, John. Man, that's crazy. I drink like half a gallon. I'm trying to get up to a gallon, and currently I'm at half a gallon. I've never had that. That is hardcore. It is better for your kidneys and liver if you drink a lot of water with creatine. That's fucking hardcore. I'd maybe cut your creatine down a little bit and then balance your water out. You beast. That's intense. Scott Welsh, I downloaded an app that tracks all my biking commute. It tracks time, distance, elevation, average, and top speed. Strava, it's really cool so far. I'm a Fitbit boy. That sounds awesome. My Fitbit does those things, but that's a badass little setup. All right, impromptu unboxing. You guys ready? I mentioned Curtis, who's the patron saint of unboxing, but we're going to be doing a disc plate this month and talking about The Town, because he got me a dope copy of The Town last month, but I don't have the disc plate yet. But while we're here, and this is going to be the last thing of the show, I got this package in the mail today, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. I'll be posting it as I build it on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, do so. You can watch this bad Larry get built. All right. This is from my good friends over at Contra, a portable Contra arcade set. Yeah. I'm so excited to play this. You guys will see this in upcoming things. I am very, very stoked. I want to thank my friends at BHI who sent this my way. Also, a Contra shirt. And we got... Oh, this is going to be an Android and available on iOS game as of last week. So if you guys want to play Contra, it is now available on your phone devices, whether you're Android or Apple. Pretty dope. So I'd like to thank TIMI Studios, my friends at BHI, and me about to play some tiny little baby arcade. Look at this. So it's like a phone game on an arcade as an 80s kid and as an arcade boy. I am really excited about this. Thank you, Contra. This is dope as hell. Fuck yeah. All right, Microplayer Retro Arcade. They think of everything. They think of everything. I'm very excited. Okay, that is going to be it, you lovelies. John Getz said this was years ago. My little bro was trying to pump me up, really into tempo right now. It really mixes things up. That's smart, man. I definitely don't go too hard to throwing up. And your little bro, I mean, your bro sounds like a madman who I respect as a gym bro myself, going far too hard. My dream casting for live action He-Man. I actually am not that invested in the world of He-Man. I just said I was an 80s kid, but He-Man was never one of my 80s things. I was more like movies than cartoons. I liked 90s cartoons and 80s movies. I'm a weird kid, so He-Man's not really my my wheelhouse, unfortunately, because my buddy Kevin just made a He-Man show, and I'm invested because of Kevin, but I don't really know the Masters of the Universe that well, so I can only be like, this is great from an outside perspective, which maybe is nice sometimes. I love hearing from comic fans that are casuals what they thought of movies, so for what it's worth, that is my exposure. This has been a very fun Koi Cubed. The sweat has begun. I'm going to turn that AC back on because that is the move. Saw Michael McCarcel in here earlier. Always a pleasure. Curtis Mason in here. Always makes me happy. John Getz, patron saint of watch-along, not of watch-alongs, of anime. We're going to be doing part 3 of My Hero Academia. I'm going to start it tomorrow. And then I'm going to finish out part 3. So we're going to finish season 3. So it's probably going to be sometime next week. We're going to be closing out My Hero Academia season 3. I'm loving this season. It might be my favorite season so far, which is saying a lot. World building's exceptional. Villains are incredible. The depth of the fucking culture in this show is insane. They built a society, and I really feel like I know it. It's so immersive. My Hero Academia is incredible. We're going to be finishing season 3, so keep an eye out on the review for that. John and I will be talking about when we do that live. And at the end of the month, I got to talk to Michael McCarcel about the watch-along, which is why that popped in my head. And then, for AJ Lancaster, I'm going to be doing Ted Lasso Season 2, the first 4 episodes, the first 2 hours of Ted Lasso. It airs starting next Friday. They're on episode 2. I need 2 more episodes, so next Friday, I'm going to do that. We'll figure out when we're doing Ted Lasso Part 1. We're going to be doing lots of Ted Lasso goodness for AJ Lancaster, so keep your eyes peeled. My Hero, Ted Lasso, watch along at the end of the month. Coy-Cast drops tomorrow. I got new headshots I'm going to share with you guys soon that producer Jake took. He's an incredible photographer. If you guys are in LA and you need editorial shots or headshots, he will hook you up with an incredible deal. Basically 3 sets of headshots. Like you can do them over the next 3 years. You can do them every 6 months. 3 headshots for $500. That's insane. LA headshots are at minimum $500. He's gonna give you 3 sets for $500 because he wants to buy a new camera to do said headshots. So if you're in LA and you need any images, that is one of the best deals I've ever heard of. And he'll hook you up in like unlimited time, tons of looks. Producer Jake's the man. Plus you get to hang out with Jake, who's awesome. So if you guys are interested, he's got a Kickstarter going. I love that guy, and I got some shots I'm gonna be posting from him in the coming days. All right, that's gonna do it, you lovelies. I will see you very, very soon. Lavelle, I agree. Coy for president, but not of the United States, of my imagination. Much love, guys.